Hello everyone, welcome to today's session of CTMT classes. As you know that we are discussing the first chapter, that is ingredients of concrete. In that we are discussing about cement. Okay, so this is the syllabus of your first chapter, and in this first chapter we have already completed the wet process and dry process of manufacturing. Okay, so this topic is already over. Okay, in the first session we had discussed about cement, introduction related to cement, and where the how the cement is manufactured, where the cement industry can be established, and how it affects the Indian economy. So this was the introduction related to cement that we have discussed. After that we discussed about the manufacturing process of cement. Okay, so general process of manufacturing. In that we had discussed about wet process of manufacturing and dry process of manufacturing. Okay, so after that we discussed the flow chart. Okay, flow chart of wet process and flow chart of dry process. After that we discussed about uh, significance of physical properties. Okay, some of the physical properties we discussed, and we also discussed about their significance. Okay, so such as fineness. Okay, we discussed about fineness of cement. What is the fineness of cement, what is its significance? Then we discussed about consistency of cement. We also discussed about initial and final setting time of cement. Okay, so how we will get to know that cement is hard, or what is initial setting time, what is final setting time. Okay, so the test related to that also we have discussed. Okay, so next is soundness of cement. We have discussed already about soundness of cement, but we did not discuss about test. Okay, so how we can get to know whether the cement is sound or unsound. Okay, so let us discuss the test on soundness of cement. Okay, so this was the flow chart of wet process. We discussed the flow chart of dry process also. We discussed this physical property, that is fineness of cement. We discussed about consistency of cement, and this is the vicat apparatus which is used. Then we discussed about cement setting time, and this is the vicat apparatus which is used to know the setting time. Okay, so how can we get to know the initial setting time, final setting time, and that calculation we have seen. Okay, soundness of cement we have discussed. Next is the test. Okay, so Lee Chatelier's soundness test on cement. Okay, so these are the apparatus which are required. That is Lee Chatelier mold, cement. Okay, one sample of cement. Then we need glass sheets. 2 glass sheets are required. Then one mixing pan is required, one trowel, and then weight. Okay, it is weight actually. There is a typing mistake in that. Okay, now the mold consists of small split cylinder of spring brass or other suitable metal of 0.5 mm thickness, forming a mold 30 mm internal diameter and 30 mm height. Okay, so how is this test apparatus? It is consisting of small split cylinder. Okay, it is consist of one cylinder. Okay, इसके ये टेस्ट में ना apparatus में एक सिलेंडर है. वो सिलेंडर कौन से मटेरियल का है? स्प्रिंग ब्रास. ओके, यूजुअली ये सिलेंडर जो है स्प्रिंग ब्रास मटेरियल का होता है. ओके, सो अदर और स्प्रिंग ब्रास मटेरियल को छोड़ के कोई और दूसरा सिलेंडर है तो तुम वो भी यूज कर सकते हो, बट उसकी थिकनेस कितनी होनी चाहिए? 0.5 mm थिकनेस. ओके, द थिकनेस ऑफ दैट स्प्रिंग ब्रास सिलेंडर शुड बी 0.5 mm. Okay, and the internal diameter and the height of the cylinder should be 30 mm. Okay, diameter of the cylinder as well as the height of cylinder should be 30 mm. On either side of the split, uh, on either side of the split are attached to indicators with pointed ends AA. The distance from these ends to the center of the cylinder is being 165 mm. The mold shall be kept in good condition with the jaws not more than 0.5 mm apart. Okay, so this paragraph I'll explain you with figure which is there in the next slide. See, okay, so I told about this cylinder. Okay, so this is a cylinder. It is having the diameter of how much? 30 mm. 30 mm diameter and 30 mm height. Okay, 30 mm means how much? 3 centimeter. 3 centimeter diameter, 3 centimeter height. Okay, so and these are the indicators that I told you in the last paragraph. Okay, so these are the two indicators. The length of this is how much? 165 mm. Okay, 165 mm is the length of these indicators. Okay, and these are the distance between these two indicators. Okay, the distance between these two indicators is length of expansion. Okay, so this is opening here. Okay, this much portion you can see for this cylinder it is open. So if a diameter increases, if that is completely closed, okay, suppose this is completely closed, then 30 mm is the diameter of the cylinder. If it increases, okay, if this distance increases, what will happen? So this distance will increase. Okay, so what, when it will happen, if suppose it the material which is there inside this cylinder, okay, the material, if you keep something in this inside this, if it expands, okay, if that material expands, what will happen? So this distance will increase. Understanding? So this you can see here in the top view. Okay, if you see from the top, it will be visible like this. Okay, so this diameter is 30 mm. Okay, so this is 30 mm now. So if you fill any material inside this, if that material expand in size, then this distance will increase. Okay, so this distance will increase. So this shows the length of expansion. Okay, so this shows the length of expansion, and these are the glass plates. Okay, two glass plates are there. Understood? So this is the apparatus which is used in the test. Now let us discuss the procedure. How we will do the test on cement for soundness. The Le Chatelier mold and the glass plates are lightly oiled before conducting the test. Okay, so in the previous slide you have seen the glass sheets as well as the cylinder. Okay, so तुमने क्या देखा previous slide में सिलेंडर था और ग्लास शीट थे, तो वो सिलेंडर को और ग्लास शीट को दोनों को जो है ना लाइटली ऑयल लगाना है. ओके, यू हैव टू ऑयल इट बिफोर स्टार्टिंग द टेस्ट. Prepare a cement paste as in consistency. Test with 0.78 times the water required to give a paste a standard consistency. Okay, so 0.78 times तुम वाटर ऐड करके सीमेंट में तुमको एक सीमेंट का पेस्ट बनाना है. ठीक है, एक सैंपल ऑफ सीमेंट लेना है, फिर उसके अंदर पानी डालना है, पानी डाल के सीमेंट का पेस्ट बनाना है. ठीक है, फिल द सीमेंट. बाथरूम. Okay, I was discussing about this, right? So the Le Chatelier mold and the glass sheets are lightly oiled before conducting the test. Okay, so before starting the test, you have to oil the glass sheet as well as the cylinder from inside. Okay, then you have to prepare a cement paste. Okay, you have to take the sample of cement, then 0.78 times you have to add the water to the cement, and you have to make the paste of cement. Okay, 0.78 times you have to add the water and you have to prepare the cement paste. Fill the cement paste in the Le Chatelier mold, taking care to keep the edges of the mold gently together during the operation. Okay, तो अब क्या करना है तुमको? The cement paste that you have prepared, you have to fill in the cylinder. ओके, वो सिलेंडर को क्या करना है, दो ग्लास शीट है तुम्हारे, तो एक ग्लास शीट के ऊपर तुमको सिलेंडर रखना है। ठीक है, ग्लास शीट के ऊपर सिलेंडर रख के सिलेंडर के अंदर सीमेंट पेस्ट को भरना है। ठीक है, वो सीमेंट पेस्ट को भरने के टाइम पे यू हैव टू टेक केयर दैट द एजेस ऑफ द मोल्ड आर टुगेदर, जेंटली टुगेदर। ओके, जो एज है सिलेंडर का, इट शुड बी टुगेदर। Cover the mold with another piece of glass plate and place a small weight over the cover plate. ओके, अब क्या करना है, पहले ग्लास शीट है, ग्लास शीट के ऊपर तुम्हारा सिलेंडर है, सिलेंडर के अंदर तुमने सीमेंट पेस्ट को भरा है। सीमेंट पेस्ट को भरने के बाद टॉप में, ओके, टॉप में भी फिर जो और एक जो ग्लास शीट बचा है, वो ग्लास शीट को उसके ऊपर रखना है। ठीक है, बॉटम में भी ग्लास प्लेट है, टॉप में भी ग्लास प्लेट है, और सेंटर में जो है सिलेंडर है, और सिलेंडर के अंदर सैंपल ऑफ सीमेंट पेस्ट है। ठीक है, अब टॉप का जो ग्लास शीट है, वो ग्लास शीट के ऊपर थोड़ा सा लोड रखना है तुमको। ठीक है, वो मूव ना हो सके, या फिर वो ऊपर सीमेंट पेस्ट के एक्सपेंशन से फिर ऊपर ना आ सके, इसलिए थोड़ा वेट रखना है टॉप के ग्लास प्लेट के ऊपर। ओके, सबमर्ज द होल असेंबली इमीडिएटली इन वाटर एट अ टेम्परेचर ऑफ 27 डिग्री सेल्सियस प्लस और माइनस 2 डिग्री सेल्सियस एंड कीप इट देयर फॉर 24 आवर्स। ओके, अब ये जो पूरा असेंबली है, ठीक है, असेंबली में क्या क्या है, बॉटम ग्लास प्लेट है, उसके ऊपर सिलेंडर, उसके अंदर सीमेंट पेस्ट, उसके बाद टॉप में जो है ग्लास शीट है, और उसके ऊपर तुमने थोड़ा वेट रखा है। तो ये पूरा जो असेंबली है, ये पूरा का पूरा एक साथ उठा के तुमको पानी के टैंक में डाल देना है, मीन्स पानी के टैंक के अंदर रखना है। और उस टाइम पे पानी का टेम्परेचर कितना होना चाहिए, 27 डिग्री सेल्सियस। ओके, ये 27 डिग्री सेल्सियस जो है 2 डिग्री सेल्सियस ऊपर भी हो सकता, ऊपर भी गया तो चलेगा, नीचे भी आया तो चलेगा। इट मीन्स 27 की जगह 28 या 29 भी चलेगा। ठीक है, या फिर 27 की जगह पे 26 या 25 भी चलेगा। ठीक है, ये 2 डिग्री सेल्सियस जो है ना रिलैक्सेशन दिया है, वो ऊपर भी गया तो चलेगा, नीचे भी आया तो चलेगा, बट इट शुड बी इन बिटवीन 25 टू 29। ओके, 25 टू 29। ओके, हमको कितना चाहिए, 27 डिग्री सेल्सियस चाहिए। ठीक है, 2 डिग्री ऊपर नीचे हुआ तो चलेगा। ये पूरा असेंबली तुमको पानी में 24 आवर्स के लिए रखना है। ओके, so you imagine whatever I'm explaining you have to imagine the procedure. See, this is the cylinder. In the bottom of the cylinder we have kept glass sheet. In the top of the cylinder we have kept another glass sheet. Okay, 2 glass sheets are there. So inside this cylinder you have filled with the cement paste. Okay, so this whole assembly you are going to put it in the water for 24 hours, right? So this is what you have to do. Next, after putting it in water for 24 hours, okay, after putting in water for 24 hours, you have to take it out. Okay, take out the assembly in water at 27 degrees Celsius. The distance between the indicator points are measured as A. Okay, so वो जो सिलेंडर को 2 इंडिकेटर है, ओके, उसके दोनों के बीच में का डिस्टेंस मेजर करना है। ठीक है, ये डिस्टेंस, ओके, ये जो डिस्टेंस है, ये डिस्टेंस को तुमको मेजर करना है कि कितना गैप है, कितने mm का गैप है। ठीक है, कब मेजर करना है, आफ्टर 24 आवर्स ऑफ क्यूरिंग। ओके, नाउ सबमर्ज द, फिर वो ए का डिस्टेंस निकाल के वो डिस्टेंस नोट डाउन करना है तुमको। नोट डाउन करने के बाद क्या करना है, सबमर्ज द असेंबली अगेन इन वाटर एट 27 डिग्री सेल्सियस। ओके, सो फिर सेकेंड टाइम जो है फिर से पानी में 24 आवर्स के लिए रखना है। Bring the water to boiling in 20 to 30 minutes and keep it boiling for 3 hours. Okay, so second time पानी में डालने के बाद तुमको वो जो पानी में डाला है उसको पानी को गर्म करना है। ठीक है, you have to start boiling the water. Okay, ऐसा नहीं है कि सडनली गर्म पानी में डालना है, उसको पहले ठंडे पानी में डालना है। उस टाइम पे जब तुम वो असेंबली को पानी में डाल रहे होगे, at that time the temperature of water should be 27 डिग्री सेल्सियस। ओके, पानी में डालने के बाद तुमको उसको गर्म करने का स्टार्ट करना है। ठीक है, बॉइलिंग टेम्परेचर को आने के लिए कम से कम 25 या 30 मिनट लगने चाहिए। ओके, ऐसा नहीं है कि सडनली वेरी हाई टेम्परेचर पे ले जाकर तुमने वो सिलेंडर को रख दिया, फिर विद इन 2 to 3 मिनट्स वो पानी जो है बॉइलिंग टेम्परेचर पे आया, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। यू हैव टू स्टार्ट बॉइलिंग द वाटर स्लोली, ओके, विद द लो फ्लेम। Okay, gradually you have to increase the temperature of water. Okay, so you have to increase the temperature of water at a speed that in within half an hour the water should come to the boiling temperature. Okay, आधे घंटे में जो पानी है वो boiling temperature पे आया. Now you have to keep it boiling for 3 hours. Okay, 3 घंटे तक पानी को गर्म करते रखना है. Now remove the mold from the water and allow it to cool to 27 डिग्री सेल्सियस. ठीक है, 3 घंटे गर्म करने के बाद तुमको फिर वो पूरा असेंबली पानी से बाहर निकालना है. ओके, वो बॉइलिंग वाटर जो है उसमें से बाहर निकालना है. बाहर निकाल के फिर उसको ठंडा होने रखना है. कितना ठंडा होना चाहिए? टिल 27 डिग्री सेल्सियस, तब तक उसको ठंडा करना है. ठीक है, मेजर द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन इंडिकेटर पॉइंट एज बी. ओके, अब गर्म पानी से निकालने के बाद ठंडा करने के बाद उसको फिर से जो है ना वो दोनों इंडिकेटर के बीच में का डिस्टेंस देखना है कि कितना डिस्टेंस है. फिर वो डिस्टेंस क्या है? एज अ बी यू हैव टू नोट डाउन. ओके, स्टार्टिंग में तो 24 आवर्स के लिए जब तुमने रखा था तो उस टाइम पे जो डिस्टेंस था वो ए था ना. अभी 3 घंटे पे पानी में, गर्म पानी में रखने के बाद जब निकाला है तो ये जो डिस्टेंस है वो डिस्टेंस है बी. ओके, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट calculation. Okay, b minus a. What is the expansion now? B minus a. If you do b minus a, you will get the one value. That value is nothing but the expansion value. Okay, so जब तुमने 24 आवर्स रख के निकाला था पानी में, ठंडे पानी में, at that time जो डिस्टेंस था a था, राइट. अब जब तुमने गर्म पानी में जब तुमने पानी में डाल के पानी को गर्म किया 3 घंटे तक, जब उसके बाद जब निकाला तो डिस्टेंस b था. ओके, वो जो डिस्टेंस b है वो b की वैल्यू a की वैल्यू से ज्यादा रहेगी. ठीक है, बिकॉज देयर विल बी मोर एक्सपांशन इन द सीमेंट व्हेन यू बॉइल इट. ओके, व्हेन यू पुट इट इन द boiling water. Okay, now when you do b minus a, you will get the expansion value. Okay, the measurement taken after 24 hours of immersion in water at 27 degrees Celsius. Okay, that is the value of a. Now what is the value of b? The measurement taken after 3 hours of immersion. Okay, the measurement taken after 3 hours of immersion in water at boiling temperature. So this is your b value. Now what is the conclusion? The value of soundness of cement obtained for ordinary Portland cement, low heat cement, high alumina cement, and rapid hardening cement must not exceed 10 mm. Okay, so for these types of cements, okay, OPC types of cements is there in the last of this unit only, but still you see ordinary Portland cement, low heat cement, high alumina cement, rapid hardening cement. So these are the types of cements. Okay, for these types of cement, the value of expansion should not be more than 10 mm. The Le-Chatelier helps us to determine the line present in the cement in excess. This is the excess line that causes the expansion of cement. Okay, so जब हम cement का raw manufacturing process पढ़ रहे थे, at that time we saw that lime is one of the raw material. Okay, lime is one of the raw material. So all the raw materials which are used in the manufacturing of cement should be added in a proper quantity. Okay, so if you add more amount of lime than the requirement, so what will happen? This kind of soundness will happen. Okay, so the cement will increase in the cement will expand. Okay, for this reason the raw materials of the cement should be added in a proper quantity. Okay, now precautions. What are the precautions that you need to take? The test is conducted with special care and guidance. Okay, anyone just reading the procedure cannot start with the procedure. There should be one guide who knows the procedure. Okay, under the guidance of one known person and experienced person, you can carry out the test procedure. Filling of mold must not be done by applying extra pressure. Okay, so when you are filling the cement paste in the cylinder, at that time you should not press and fill the cylinder. Okay, normally with the normal pressure you have to fill the cylinder. You should not compact it for filling more amount of cement. Okay, with a normal pressure, you have to fill the cylinder. During the process of boiling, the water level must not go below the height of the mold. Okay, so when you are boiling, okay, when you are boiling the water, at that time your whole assembly is inside the water. Okay, at that time the water level should be more than the assembly. Okay, it should be more than the assembly. It should not be like half of the assembly is inside water and half of the assembly is outside water. It should not happen like that. Okay, the whole assembly should be immersed in the water. So these are the precautions that you need to take. Okay, now this completes the procedure of soundness test of cement. Okay, let us go to the next topic now. Okay, so next topic is strength of cement. Okay, next topic is strength of cement. um, Three types of strength of cements are measured: compressive strength, tensile strength, and flexural strength. Okay, so these are the three types of strengths of cement. Now first one is, what is compressive strength? Compressive strength is the most common strength test. Okay, so this type of cement is the most common one. A test specimen of 50 mm is taken and subjected to a compressive load until failure. Okay, so now what you are going to do here is, you have to take a sample of cement cube. Okay, you have to take a sample of or specimen of cement which is having the size of 50 mm. Okay, and this 50 mm sample is uh, subjected to a compressive load until it fails. Okay, the loading sequence must be within 20 second to 80 second. Okay, when you are applying load to that sample, you should apply the load such that it should reach its maximum strength within 20 to 80 second. Okay, in this range only. It should not be less than 20 second, and it should not be more than 80 second. Okay, so with that way you have to apply the load on the cement. Next is specific gravity of cement. What is specific gravity of cement? Based on the moisture content present in the cement, the specific gravity can increase or decrease. Okay, see, cement at its complete dry condition. Okay, cement at its complete dry condition, it is having certain specific gravity. Okay, if suppose there is some moisture content which is absorbed by the cement. Okay, if suppose the cement absorbs some amount of moisture content, then the specific gravity value varies. Okay, the cement lumps may have pores or particles that can contain water within it. Okay, so if the cement is exposed to the moisture content, at that time what will happen, those cement paste will form some lumps. Okay, it will form, see, cement is in a powder form. Okay, when you go and see the cement, when you are purchasing, you can see that cement is in a powder form. Okay, but if the cement absorbs some amount of moisture content, then what will happen, it will form lumps. Okay, small stone type of structures it will form. Okay, a nominal mix is prepared with a cement of specific gravity 3.15. Okay, cement की specific gravity कितनी होती है normally? 3.15 होती है. Any change in the value of specific gravity of cement will affect the mix design. ओके, अगर सीमेंट की स्पेसिफिक ग्रेविटी चेंज हो रही है, इट इज, इफ इट इज डिफरेंट देन 3.15, देन इट विल इफेक्ट टू द मिक्स डिजाइन ऑफ द सीमेंट. Hence it is necessary to test specific gravity produced before mixing the process. Okay, when you are going to do the mix design of the cement, at that time first you have to check what is the specific gravity of cement. Okay, now what is mix design? Mix design is a calculation in which you will calculate that how much amount of ingredients should be taken to prepare a concrete. Okay, what are the ingredients of concrete? Cement, fine aggregate, coarse aggregate, and water. Okay, to achieve a particular strength, what are the different quantities of these ingredients to be taken, so that we will get to know in the mix design. Okay, so while doing the mix design, we will consider the specific gravity of cement. Okay, not only specific gravity of cement, we consider the specific gravity of water, fine aggregate, and coarse aggregate also, along with the specific gravity of cement. Okay, so that's why specific gravity of cement is very important. Generally it is 3.5, but when you are doing the mixed design, the actual cement that you are going to use at the site, that cement has to be taken and you have to see the specific gravity of that particular cement. Understood? Next, what is specific gravity of cement? Mainly, specific gravity is the ratio of the density of substance to the density of a reference substance at a fixed temperature. Okay, in general, if you want to discuss what is specific gravity, what is it? What is it? It is the ratio of density of the substance to the density of a reference substance at a fixed temperature. Okay, so the particular uh, material that you have, whose specific gravity you want to see, first you should know what is the density of that substance. Okay, you should know the density of that particular substance. So specific gravity is nothing but it is the ratio of density of that substance. Okay, that particular material whose specific gravity you want to know, that density divided by one reference substance will be there. Okay, one standard substance, so divided by the density of that reference substance. Okay, on the other word, it is the ratio of mass of substance to the mass of reference substance. Okay, you can do it that way also. Okay, you can take the mass of it, you can take the ratio of mass of that particular material that whose specific gravity you want to know, divided by the mass of that reference substance. Okay, but in the both the states, density or mass, the value should be same, the volume should be same. Okay, so here you have to consider the volume of the substance. You should not go for the kg. Okay, suppose you are having two substances here. One substance is one whose specific gravity you want to know. Okay, that material. Another material is the reference material. Okay, suppose you take, if you take 1 meter cube of the material, then you have to take 1 meter cube of the reference material. Okay, so you have to keep the volume same here. You should not see the weight or any other thing. You have to see the volume. Okay, so the volume should be same. At that time you have to take the so you have to see the weight of those two materials, weight of the substance and weight of the reference substance. Okay, you know, you have understood, no? You might have studied in your PUC first year and second year only, specific gravity. You might have studied in your high school also. Okay, this is not required. Okay, now how can we calculate the specific gravity of the cement? Okay, so previous two slides I have skipped. Okay, that is the general introduction related to specific gravity, which is not there in your syllabus. Okay, it is there only for just extra knowledge. If you want to study, you can study that. I will, it will be there in the slides that I will share you with you people. Okay, if you don't understand still anything in this slide, you can ask me. Okay, I don't want to waste the time by explaining you some extra things other than syllabus. Okay, so this is just I have put for extra knowledge. Okay, why we need to calculate the specific gravity of any substance. Okay, now let us see the test procedure. How can we get to know what is the specific gravity of cement? Okay, following are the specific gravity test apparatus and material. Okay, if you need kerosene, first you need kerosene here. Okay, after kerosene you need ordinary Portland cement. Okay, cement you need whose specific gravity you want to know. Okay, then Le Chatelier flask of 250 ml or specific gravity bottle or pycnometer of 100 ml. Anyone you can take. Okay, here three materials are there. First one is Le Chatelier flask, and it should be having a capacity of 250 ml. Or otherwise you can take the specific gravity bottle, or otherwise you can take the pycnometer of 100 ml. Okay, so first thing, you need kerosene. Second, you need a cement sample. Third, you need any one of these. And fourth, you need weighing balance with 0.1 gram accurate. Okay, so at last you need the weighing balance to see the weight of cement. Okay, now see, so these are the apparatus. This is spatula and this is funnel. This might be your kerosene and this is your bottle. Okay, now specific gravity test procedure for cement. The specific gravity test procedure contains only 4 steps. Okay, here we are having the 4 steps. Following are the 4 steps to be followed to perform the specific gravity of test of the test of cement. The flask should be free from the liquid. That means it should be fully dry. Weigh the empty flask, which is W1. Okay, so what is the first step? Here we are having the 4 steps. Okay, we are having 4 steps. What is the first step? First step is take this flask. Okay, this flask is there, no? Take this flask, see that it is completely dry. Okay, inside there should not be any amount of water content, and or there should not be any drops of water, or it should, there should not be any impurities. It should be completely dry. Okay, so you have to see that it is completely dry. Then you have to take the weight of this. Okay, you have to take the weight of this, means how much gram it is. Okay, so that weight of this flask is W1. Okay, it is W1. Next fill the cement on the cement no, fill the cement on the bottle up to half of the flask, around 50 gram, and weigh with its stopper, and it is W2. Okay, what you have to do next? Now you have the empty flask. Okay, and weight of that empty flask is W1. What you have to do now? You have to fill half of the flask with the cement. Okay, half of the flask you have to fill it with the cement. Half of the flask will of the cement will come around 50 gram. Okay, around 50 gram it will come. Okay, after filling half of the flask, you have to take the weight of the flask now. Okay, and that is your W2. Okay, what is W2? W2 is nothing but W2 is equal to W1 plus weight of the cement. Understood? What is W1? W1 is weight of empty flask. Okay, then W2 is equal to W1 plus cement that you have added to the flask. Okay, so that is W2. Now add kerosene to the cement up to top of the bottle. Mix well to remove the air bubbles in it. Weigh the flask with cement and kerosene, and it is W3. Okay, what you have to do now? You have to fill the kerosene to that. Okay, you have to fill the kerosene in the bottle till the top. Okay, and then you have to mix it well. Okay, at the bottom cement is there. From the top you are filling the kerosene. Okay, so your kerosene may not reach to the bottom of the cement or bottom of the flask. Okay, so you have to mix it well. When you are mixing, some air bubbles will come out because there will be some entrap there inside the cement. Okay, so that that must be removed, that entrap there. After that you have to check the weight. Now it is W3. Okay, what is W3? W3 is W2 plus kerosene. Okay, W3 is nothing but W2 plus kerosene, or you can say like W3 is equal to W1 plus weight of the cement plus weight of the kerosene. Understood? Now, after taking the W3, now you have to empty the flask. Empty the flask means you have to remove all the material which is there inside the flask. Okay, what is there inside the flask? Kerosene and cement. So both of them that you have to remove. Now fill the bottle with the kerosene. Okay, so after removing cement and kerosene from the bottle, you have to remove that everything, and you have to fill it once again with full of kerosene. Okay, you have to fill it with full of kerosene, and then you have to take the weight again, and that weight is your W4. Okay, so that weight is W4. Now how to we have 4 values now. W1 is there, W2 is there, W3 is there, and W4 is there. Okay, so we have 4 readings. Now there is a formula to calculate the specific gravity. Okay, Sg is equal to W2 minus W1 divided by W2 minus W1 minus W3 minus W4 into 0.79. Okay, so with the help of this formula, you can calculate the specific gravity. Okay, so the values of W1, W2, W3 and W4 that you put it in this formula and you will get the answer. And that answer is nothing but specific gravity of your cement. Okay, so here our substance is cement and reference substance is kerosene. Understood? Is there any doubt in this? If you people don't have any kind of a doubt, then we will go to the next topic. No doubts. Shall I go to the next topic then? Okay. Okay, next is heat of heat of hydration. When water is added to the cement, the reaction that takes place is called as hydration. Hydration generates heat, okay, which can affect the quality of cement and also be beneficial in maintaining curing temperature during cold weather. Okay. So, what is heat of hydration? Heat of hydration is nothing but the reactions that takes place inside the cement when you add water to the cement. Okay, what is heat of hydration? जब तुम सीमेंट के अंदर पानी डालते हो, ठीक है, और सीमेंट के अंदर पानी डालने के बाद जब वो सीमेंट पेस्ट बनता है ना, उसके अंदर हाइड्रेशन रिएक्शंस होते हैं. ओके, पानी के और सीमेंट के बीच में एक रिएक्शन स्टार्ट होता है. फिर वो रिएक्शन की वजह से ना उसके अंदर थोड़ा टेम्परेचर डेवलप होता है. ओके, उसके अंदर टेम्परेचर डेवलप होता है. फिर बाद में वो रिएक्शंस की वजह से वो सीमेंट जो है ना हार्ड हो जाता है. It will become strong and it will become hard. Okay, so that is your heat of hydration. Next, chemical composition of cement. The raw materials used for manufacture of cement consist mainly lime, silica, alumina and iron oxide. ठीक है, अब सीमेंट को बनाने के लिए रॉ मटेरियल क्या क्या लगते हैं? लाइम, silica, alumina and iron oxide. Okay, so these are the 4 main raw materials. Okay, main I am telling, I am not telling these are the only 4, some others are also there, but these are the 4 main materials, raw materials. These oxides interact with one another in the kiln at a high temperature to form more complex compounds. Okay, so these oxides interact with one another to in the kiln at a high temperature to form more complex compounds. Okay, so when you are doing the manufacturing process, at that time we know that burning. Okay, burning is one of the step in the manufacturing process. So these 4 raw materials, when it is burnt at high temperature in the kiln, it will form more complex compounds. Okay, in the end of that burning process, we have seen that the clinkers will form. Okay, clinkers will form. Okay, so that clinkers will be made up of some complex compounds. Okay, the relative proportion of these oxide compositions are responsible for influencing the various properties of cement, in addition to rate of cooling and fineness of grinding. Okay, so below table shows the approximate oxide composition limit of ordinary Portland cement. Okay, so in this slide what it is there, so cement के 4 basic material है. Okay, raw material है. एक है लाइम, दूसरा सिलिका, तीसरा एल्यूमिना और चौथा जो है आयरन ऑक्साइड है. ठीक है, ये 4 जो है रॉ मटेरियल हैं. ये चारों रॉ मटेरियल को जब हम अच्छे से ग्राइंड करके और मिक्स करते हैं, सीमेंट का मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्रोसेस याद करो, मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया था तुम लोगों को. फर्स्ट स्टेप क्या था, ग्राइंडिंग था, सबको पाउडर करना है, क्रश करना है। सेकेंड स्टेप क्या था, मिक्सिंग करना था। और थर्ड स्टेप क्या था, बर्निंग था। ठीक है, अब ये रॉ मटेरियल लाइम, सिलिका, एल्यूमिना, आयरन ऑक्साइड, ये चारों को ग्राइंड करके मिक्स करके अभी करते हैं। ठीक है, वो बर्न करने के बाद क्या होता है, ये चारों भी मिल के हाई टेम्परेचर पे कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड्स बनाते हैं। ठीक है, कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड्स बनाते हैं। वो कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड्स जो है ना, वो क्लिंकर्स होते हैं। लास्ट में जो हमने मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्रोसेस में देखा था, आफ्टर द एंड ऑफ थर्ड दिस स्टेप ऑफ बर्निंग वी विल गेट क्लिंकर्स, राइट। ठीक है, वो क्लिंकर्स आर मेड अप ऑफ सम कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड्स। ओके, अब ये जो कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड्स जो है क्लिंकर्स के अंदर, ओके, वो जो कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड्स का सबका अलग अलग रेशियो मतलब प्रोपोर्शन होता है। ठीक है, सपोज अब वो कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड कितने, 4 है। ठीक है, 4 कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड है। वो चारों कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड कितने 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 क्वांटिटी में है, फर्स्ट कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड का कितना क्वांटिटी है, सेकेंड का कितना है, थर्ड का कितना है, फोर्थ का कितना है। ओके, सो वो कौन से कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड का कितना कंपाउंड कितना क्वांटिटी है, उसके ऊपर जो है ना सीमेंट की प्रॉपर्टी भी डिसाइड होती है। ओके, एंड व्हाट आर दोस कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड्स आर हियर इन द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। Okay, here in this slide you can see those complex compounds. First is CaO. What is CaO? It is calcium oxide. Okay, calcium oxide, or you can say lime. Okay, you have seen in the previous slide that we have 4 basic materials: lime, silica, alumina, and iron oxide. Okay, 4 basic materials are there. Okay, so first one is lime. In lime we can write in the chemical formula as CaO. Okay, CaO is nothing but lime. Okay, इसका क्वांटिटी कितना होना चाहिए, 60 to 67%. ओके, ये क्वांटिटी में हमको लाइम लेना है। सेकेंड वन क्या है, सिलिका और सिलिकॉन डाइऑक्साइड। ओके, लाइम इज कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड, सिलिका इज सिलिकॉन डाइऑक्साइड। इसका कितना क्वांटिटी है, 17 to 25%। थर्ड वन क्या है, एल्यूमिना। लाइम हो गया, सिलिका हो गया, थर्ड वन जो है एल्यूमिना। एल्यूमिना क्या है, एल्यूमिनियम ट्राइऑक्साइड, Al2O3। ओके, एल्यूमिनियम ट्राइऑक्साइड Al2O3, ये कितना है, 3 to 8% है। ठीक है, 3 to 8% है। नेक्स्ट क्या है, उसके बाद जो है Fe2O3। Fe2O3 इज नथिंग बट योर आयरन ऑक्साइड। इसका क्वांटिटी कितना है, 0.5% to 6%। ओके, 0.5% to 6%। ठीक है, अभी ये 4 जो है ना मेन मटेरियल्स, इनको छोड़ के मैग्नीशियम ऑक्साइड भी है, अल्कलीज भी है, और सल्फर ट्राइऑक्साइड भी है, बट दीज मटेरियल्स आर इन very few quantity. Okay, you can see MgO, magnesium oxide, is in the range of 0.1% to 4%. Alkalis like K2O, that is K2O is nothing but potassium oxide. Na2O is nothing but sodium dioxide. Okay, it is in the range of 0.4 to 1.3%. Then we have sulfur trioxide, SO3, it is in the range of 1.3 to 3%. Okay, so these are the raw materials of cement. Okay, so these are the raw materials of cement. What are the raw materials? Lime. Okay, so the first one is lime, silica, alumina, iron oxide, magnesium oxide, alkalis, and sulfur trioxide. Okay, so these 4 are main and major compound. Okay, then remaining are the minor compounds. Understood?
Yes, sir.
The oxides present in the raw material, when subjected to high clinkering temperature, combine with each other to form complex compounds. The identification of major compounds is largely based on R.H. Book's work, and hence it is called Book's compounds. The 4 compounds usually regarded as major compounds are listed below. ओके, सो अब हमने जो प्रीवियस स्लाइड भी देखा, वो ऑक्साइड्स जो भी हैं, वो ऑक्साइड दोज आर प्रेजेंट इन द डिफरेंट डिफरेंट प्रोपोर्शन. ओके, ये जो ऑक्साइड है, जब हम उनको बर्न करते हैं किल में at a temperature of about 1300 to 1500 degrees Celsius. Okay, at this temperature when we are burning, what will happen? These raw materials or these oxides will combine with each other, and there will be chemical reactions, and then it will form some complex compounds. Okay, so it will form some complex compounds. So that is at last it will form clinker. That clinker is made up of कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड्स. ओके, सो वो कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड के ऊपर आर.एच. बोग ने एक रिसर्च किया. ओके, आर.एच. बोग्स इज अ नेम ऑफ द साइंटिस्ट. तो इसने क्या किया, इसने एक रिसर्च किया एंड ही सेड दैट देयर आर सम मेजर कंपाउंड्स, एंड वो मेजर कंपाउंड्स को इसने क्या नाम दिया, बोग्स कंपाउंड्स. ही गेव द नेम ऑफ दोस कंपाउंड्स अगेंस्ट हिज ओन नेम. ही गेव द नेम एज बोग्स कंपाउंड्स. The four compounds usually regarded as major compounds are listed below. अब वो compound क्या है, वो जो complex compound हैं, what are those complex compounds? Okay, you see here. So these are the four complex compounds. Okay, first is tricalcium silicate, second one dicalcium silicate, third is tricalcium aluminate, and fourth one is tetracalcium aluminoferrate. Okay, so these are the four complex compounds, and ये चारों complex compound को मिला के हम लोग Box compounds बोलते हैं. What we say for this? Box compounds. Okay, now ये Box compounds के भी formulas हैं. Okay, we can write them. Tricalcium silicate. Okay, first is tricalcium silicate. Okay, tricalcium. Okay, tri means 3. Okay, tri means 3. Then we have calcium and silicate. Okay, so tricalcium means 3CaO. Tricalcium 3CaO. Then silicate is there. Silicate is nothing but SiO2. Okay, tricalcium silicate. Same way, dicalcium silicate. Di means 2. Okay, di means 2. So 2, calcium means CaO. So 2CaO. Silicate is nothing but SiO2. Okay, 2CaO SiO2 is dicalcium silicate. Third Box compound is tricalcium aluminate. Okay, tri means 3 again, calcium means CaO, next is aluminate. Aluminate is nothing but Al2O3. Okay, next tetracalcium aluminoferrate. Okay, tetracalcium aluminoferrate, 4CaO. Okay, tetra means 4. Okay, di means 2, tri means 3, tetra means 4. Okay, so tetracalcium means 4CaO. Then aluminoferrate. Alumino means Al2O3. Ferrate means Fe2O3. That's why tetracalcium aluminoferrate, 4CaO Al2O3 Fe2O3. Okay, so this is the formula for fourth Box compound, that is tetracalcium aluminoferrate. Okay, now so those formula you can see, those formulas are long. Okay, when you are writing it will take time, so those are long. That's why we have cut shorted it. Okay, we have made the short form of those formulas. Okay, so for tricalcium silicate, that is 3CaO SiO2. For this we can write as C3. Tricalcium can be written as C3 and silicate can be written as S. Okay, so 3CaO SiO2 can be written as C3S. Short form. C3S means tricalcium silicate. Now second one is dicalcium silicate. Dicalcium silicate can be written as C2S. Then tricalcium aluminate. Tricalcium means C3, aluminate means A. Okay, then tetra calcium aluminoferrate. Tetra means 4, calcium means C, so C4. Alumino means A, ferrate means F. That's why C4AF. Tetra calcium aluminoferrate C4AF. Understood? It is very easy to remember. Just you remember these four Box compounds, then it will become very easy to remember the formula and abbreviation. Okay. Now, tricalcium silicate and dicalcium silicate are most important compounds responsible for the strength. ओके अब ये जो 4 बॉक्स कंपाउंड्स हैं उसके अंदर ट्राइकैल्शियम सिलिकेट और डाइकैल्शियम सिलिकेट जो है these are very much important for strength gain of the cement. Okay, so with the help of tricalcium silicate and dicalcium silicate, cement gains the strength. Together they constitute 70 to 80% of the cement. Okay, so tricalcium silicate and dicalcium silicates are present in the maximum quantity in the cement, and it will be around 70 to 80%. Okay, if you have 100 kgs of cement, means in that it 70 to 80 kg will be tricalcium silicate and dicalcium silicate only. The average C3S content in modern cement is 45%, and that of C2S is about 25%. Okay. So the calculated quantity of compounds in the in the cement varies greatly, even for relatively small change in the oxide composition of the raw material. Okay, now in the raw material, you see we have taken the raw materials in the different quantities. Okay, we have taken the raw materials in the different quantities. Okay, what are the raw materials? Lime, silica, alumina, iron oxide, magnesium oxide, alkalis are there, right? So those materials we have taken as raw materials in the particular quantity. Okay, so those quantities should be within the range. If there is a change in the quantity of those materials, then the properties of the cement also will change. Okay, so while you are manufacturing the cement, you have to be very cautious that the quantities of raw material should be added in a proper quantity. Okay, an increase in lime content beyond a certain value makes it difficult to combine with other compounds, and free lime will exist in the clinker, causes unsoundness in the cement. Okay, so raw material में lime भी है, so lime should be added in the proper quantity. अगर वो lime की quantity को हम जरूरत से ज्यादा डाल दिया हम लोगों ने, तो क्या होता है? Cement will become unsound. Okay, understood? Now, an increase in silica content at the expense of the content of alumina and ferric oxide will make the cement difficult to fuse and form clinker. Okay, अब cement में silica भी है. Okay, silica is one of the raw material. अब silica का content alumina और ferric oxide से ज्यादा हो गया, तो क्या होगा? When you are burning, in the third step of burning, in the manufacturing process of cement, जब clinker बनता है, burning के बाद जब clinker बनता है, so that clinker will become very difficult to form. Okay, that's why silica should be in a proper proportion. Cement with a high total alumina and high ferric oxide content is favorable to the production of high early strength in the cement. Okay, अगर cement के अंदर alumina और ferric oxide का content ज़्यादा है, तो your cement will become will have the property that it will become hard very soon. Okay, if you want your cement to become very hard in a very short period of time after adding the water, then you should use the high amount of alumina. Okay, this is perhaps due to the influence of these oxides for the complete combining an entire quantity of lime present to form the tricalcium silicate. Okay, the advancement made in various spheres of science and technology has helped us to recognize and understand the microstructure of the cement compounds to before compounds before hydration and after hydration. Okay, so we have now advancements in the science and technology. So with the help of those advancements in the science and technology, it has made us to understand, okay, so what is the microstructure of cement and what is the hydration process of cement, how the reactions will take place. Okay, with the help of those advancement and with the help of those microscopes, we can study the further of cement. Okay. Now, the X-ray powder diffraction method, that is X-ray fluorescence method, and use of powerful electron microscope capable of magnifying 50,000 times or even more, has helped to reveal the crystalline or amorphous structure of the unhydrated cement paste. Okay, now the X-ray powder diffraction method. Okay, these are the some of the very powerful electron microscope. With the help of those microscope, now the scientist has able to zoom the material for 50,000 times. Okay, so by zooming in that many times and watching the reactions and seeing the process what is happening in the cement after putting the water into that has made us to understand the microstructure of the cement.
Hello, sir.
Both Le Chatelier and Tronbaum observed 4 different kinds of crystals in thin section of the cement clinkers. Tronbaum called them kinds of crystals as elite, belite, silite, and phyllite. Okay, so other than Bogue, there is one more person who studied these compounds, and his name is Tronbaum. What is his name? His name is Tronbaum. Okay, so Tronbaum also studied the cement structure, and he said that there are 4 compounds. Okay, so we have seen previously those 4 compounds as C3S, C2S, that is tricalcium silicate, dicalcium silicate, tricalcium aluminate, and tetracalcium aluminoferrate. But these scientists gave the name for them as halite, belite, silite, and phyllite. Okay. Tronbaum's description of minerals in the cement was found to be similar to Bogue's description of the compound. Okay, so both theories of Bogue and this one Tronbaum were almost similar. Therefore, Bogue's compounds C3S, C2S, C3A, and C4AF are sometimes called as literatures as halite, belite, silite, and phyllite respectively. Means Bogue's compound ने नाम क्या दिए? C3S, C2S, C3A and C4F. बाद में जब टोनबोम ने जब एक्सपेरिमेंट किया और रिसर्च किया तो उसने क्या नाम दिए? halite, belite, silite and phyllite. ओके, तो इसमें से क्या है? C3S is nothing but halite, C2S क्या है? belite, C3S silite, ओके, C4AF जो है phyllite है. ओके, now last topic of the this unit is types of cement. Okay, so these types of cement I will take in the next class, because already the time of class is over. I will take the attendance and I will leave you people so that you can join the next session. And those people who are not able to understand my language, please let me know. If they have any kind of a doubt or something, I will explain you people once again. Okay, and those who want me to explain in the Marathi, so I am sorry for that. I don't know Marathi. I can't explain you in the Marathi. I can explain you in the English very well, or I can try to explain in Hindi also. But don't expect me that I will explain in the Marathi.